I have been running my clothing brand since 2018 thereabouts. So I've been running it for the last 4 to 5 years, and honestly over those years I have definitely learned a thing or two. In this video I want to dive into 13 things I regret as a clothing brand owner from 2018 to the glorious year of 2024 that we're in now. And especially as somebody that's looking to start a whole new brand, I need to make sure I'm aware of the things I regret so that I don't repeat the same ish. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Teddy G, and on this channel I basically document what it's truly like to run a clothing brand, as well as trying to drop tips, tricks, gems and all of that good stuff. So let's dive straight into this video. I have my notes, so yeah, we're starting off strong. We're starting off really strong with the number one thing I probably regret is voluntarily registering my business for VAT. I don't know what I was thinking, in all honesty. I thought, okay, I'm gonna be able to claim a bit of tax back on some purchases that I was making. Maybe at the time I was making so many purchases, it probably made sense, but honestly I regret it because submitting VAT returns, now I used to be on top of it. I used to be really on top of it, and it meant that when it came to now submitting my accounts at the end of the year, it meant that all of my accounts were already sorted because I had to submit these VAT returns quarterly. I've completely fallen off. I am not keeping on top of it. It is too much for me. I bury my head in the sand. I can't cope. I regret it completely. And adding on to that, regret number 2, which is pretty much on the same like wavelength, on the same bed, in the same room as the VAT returns, I regret registering my business as an LTD. I wish I just remained as a sole trader, and when I start my clothing blanks brand, it is gonna be a sole trader sort of setup for the time being, because honestly the stress of submitting your company accounts, all the stuff that goes into it, is stressful and I regret it immensely. Of course there's some tax benefits when it comes to it, but in all honesty, am I like benefit from the tax benefits? I don't know. Am I stressed from submitting the accounts? Absolutely. So a big regret, and not something that I'm looking to do for any sort of new business that I look to start. Even like Teddy G, which is a business in itself, sole trader. Self-assessment deadline is coming. Another thing I regret, probably not so much now because I have YouTube and YouTube saved my life, but not getting a part-time job when starting my business. I kind of went all like full in, not straight away but pretty early on, and I regret not having like a part-time job to just sort of like make me relax, not feel like there's sort of like bills that I need to pay, things that I need to pay. When you've got things that you need to pay, that money that you make from your business, you have to use it instead of reinvesting it in your business and growing your business. So that is definitely something I regret. In the same group, in the same family, the next thing I regret is not accurately tracking my incomings and outgoings and assessing my finances properly. Assessing profits and losses properly is definitely something that I regret, because of course like it makes money, but how much money is it really making? Like, is it truly making a profit, or are we just floating? Are we just covering our costs? Like, what's really happening here? Now the next thing I regret, and probably something that I've learned from, and I really hope I continue to learn from, and I don't rush the process when it comes to my blanks brand, and that is not taking the sampling process seriously. So there's times when I've produced a garment and it's like very nearly almost there, and I assume that the next round of sampling is gonna be fine, so there's no point, and I'm just like, cool, just go into production. Don't do that. That is just so dumb. You need to be 100% happy with the final sample. I done it with my dresses, which is why you only see 2 style of dresses instead of 3, because I didn't take the sampling process properly. And you would think I would have learnt my lesson and learnt from that, but I still haven't. So definitely when it comes to my blanks brand, I am going to take the sampling process seriously. I have sat here and thought to myself, a t-shirt's a t-shirt, I don't need to see it in the other colors. I have now convinced myself that a t-shirt is not a t-shirt and I need to see it in the other colors as well. So when I get the samples for all of my t-shirts, I'm going to ensure that I have a sample in each color that it's going to come in, and I probably will do each t-shirt in a different size so that I can also take a look at the samples in different sizes, if that makes sense. So I'm going to have a range of 4 sizes: small, medium, large, XL. So I'm going to try and get a sample in small, medium, large and XL. I run a clothing brand called Shopify, and as it grows, it's important for me to carry on improving operations and to take more of a hands-off approach when it comes to business at times. The Connecteam app is an all-in-one app for managing non-desk employees. Processing new inventory for my clothing brand is a major part of operations. So I use the checklist feature to ensure that my employees know and understand the process of checking and stocking new inventory. This is the checklist I have created for when new stock comes in. I can keep this form up to date from anywhere with a click and gather correct and consistent information. This is how my employees will view this checklist and tick off what tasks have been completed and on what date. Employees can fill in this checklist on the go from any mobile device. The great thing about checklists is that I am notified of any submissions and I can monitor them in real time. This allows me to interact directly with employees on any entries. The forms also provide statistics and I can send them chat messages or notifications regarding a checklist. Having these checklists gives me peace of mind as I take a hands-off approach to my business. I can oversee processes from anywhere and focus on a core business, but making sure everything is being handled correctly. The Connecteam app offers more features for managing employees, such as scheduling, time tracking, and more. So if you are a business with under 10 employees, you can get the Connecteam app completely free with all of its capabilities. If you have more than 10 employees, Connecteam offers a 14-day free trial with no credit card information needed. I'd like to say thank you to the Connecteam app for sponsoring this part of the video. Another thing I regret is rushing the overall process of launching my brand and not fully taking my time, because I always seem to have some sort of time constraint, whether that be a pop-up in Paris or a pop-up in London. I'm like, make sure you get my products to me because I have a pop-up, and it always seems like I end up rushing the process, especially towards the end, and not fully launching in the way that I wanted to launch. So that is definitely something I regret and something that I need to definitely change. Another thing I regret is definitely not taking branding as seriously as I should have from the very start. Like, branding is a big part of business, especially if you're tapping into a really saturated market. You definitely need to make sure that you have your branding down. You have what's going to differentiate your brand from all the other brands, which is why in my starter kit, shameless plug, the branding chapter is right at the start. I feel like it is something that you need to almost get pretty much down right at the start of starting your business. I said registering my business for VAT was my biggest regret, not knowing that I'd written this regret down, and that was trusting a manufacturer that contacted me via Instagram. Ended up costing me, honestly, like the business almost, pretty much. Like, I don't even want to get into that because we will be sat here for years. But yeah, big regret. Another regret starting out was not investing enough into marketing and also not capitalizing on influencer marketing back then. 2024 is definitely a lot different to 2018. Maybe influencer marketing was a lot more like better back then. I feel like now it's kind of, I don't know. How do you guys feel about influencer marketing marketing, do you think you still get influenced by influencers? Because I don't know whether people do. I feel like people now assume that the influencer is getting paid, so they don't trust what they say. And I feel like for it to have had a positive impact on my business, I definitely should have capitalized on it a few years back. So that is a big regret. Another regret I have is, although I don't feel like I launched with that many products, if I was going to talk to a brand looking to start, I would suggest that they don't launch with as many products as I launched with. I think like one of my ranges had like 11 products, and that's quite a lot. Definitely like rein it in, launch with a couple of t-shirts first, and then build from there once you realize what your customers actually want and like. Oh, this is a really good one. So not giving the customers what they want when they wanted it. There was a period of time when everybody was like messaging me like, we want this tracksuit, we want this tracksuit, we want this tracksuit, when are the tracksuits coming out, tracksuit. And I probably took another like year and a half to actually release a tracksuit. So not giving people what they want when they wanted it was definitely a big regret, because when I did end up releasing the tracksuit, it was like nobody was interested anymore. So definitely look to giving the people what they want when they want it, if you can. Of course, this wasn't something that was completely in my control. It's a process, but it is definitely something that I regret. Feeding into that, taking a long time between restocks, I definitely have an issue with that, and it's probably down to like cash flow and not managing and reinvesting my cash properly back into my business, which means that the time between restocks ended up being long because I'm still looking for the money to do the restock. So that is definitely something I regret. And finally, which basically feeds into the same thing, and that's failing to reinvest profits properly, efficiently back into my business in order for it to grow. That is definitely something I regret in the past, but it's definitely something that I've worked on, and I know how to do it now. So yeah, those are 13 things I regret, and I really hope that from watching this video you have learned a thing or two and you can avoid some of these things moving forward. Because honestly, if I had known some of these things, like the whole VAT registering and LTD registering, I wouldn't have done it. So I am hoping that this video helps somebody out there somewhere. But yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this video and you subscribe because of it. If you don't subscribe, at the very least, please like this video. And if you have a question, or maybe you have something that you regret when starting your business, please definitely comment it down below. Let's talk about it. And yeah, I will catch you guys in my very next video.